Hey everybody, I am filming today my planner showdown conclusion video, if that's even a thing. As you might be aware, if you have seen my videos for the last month, I have been flip-flopping back and forth between these two beauties. And if you are not aware, if you have not been watching my videos, first of all, welcome to the channel. Second of all, I have been trying to weigh the pros and cons and decide which of these planners I'm going to stick with. This is a Jibun Techo Biz A5 Slim, and this is a Hobonichi Cousin. And it has been a very difficult, I've been doing this for a little bit more than a month now, trying to decide which of these is going to work best for me. I was originally in the Cousin. I originally started this channel for the Cousin, and I do love the Cousin. My big kind of complaint with the Cousin is I don't use dailies, and this is not a cheap planner, and it was kind of driving me a little bit crazy to have all this extra space in the back that really wasn't being used or utilized. I had tried journaling, I had tried some different things that just really weren't working for me. And ultimately, I could have hacked it apart and done different things, but I kind of feel like if I'm paying that much money for something, I shouldn't have to then put a whole bunch of extra effort into making it work for me, if there's another option that will work better. And so I came across the Jibun Techo, which does not have dailies. It has a very similar weekly layout, a very similar size, high quality paper. That's been my other thing, is I've kind of turned into somewhat of a paper snob, unintentionally, but you know, it is what it is. The Tomoe River paper has completely spoiled me for all inferior papers. And the Jibun Techo has a very high quality paper that is very similar. It is not Tomoe River, it is called Kokuyo Mio paper. Kokuyo being the company that makes this. And Mio, I forget what it stands for. But they are both extremely high quality, very lightweight papers that are fountain pen friendly. So I've been weighing the pros and cons of the two, and I have finally made a decision, believe it or not. I know that's hard to believe. And ultimately, the winner of my affections, at least until I find my unicorn planner, which I don't think exists at this time. But until then, I have decided that I'm going to be using the Hobonichi Cousin. And it was a very difficult decision. Ultimately, the reason is that this layout with the dots and the different colors and the structure has a visual busyness to it that is fine if I choose to put it there, but there is no choice. It's already here. Whereas the layout for the Cousin is very, very simple, very, very clean lines, and I can make it as busy as I want to, but I can't take away busyness from the Techo. And ultimately, that was what decided for me. Now, what I did do, and something that I hope will mitigate sort of the frustration that I have with all of the extra pages in the back, is I have switched to the Avec version. For those of you that are familiar with Hobonichi, you know what I'm talking about, but for those of you that are not, Hobonichi offers a full year version of the Cousin, which is, let me show you, this, looks like this. And as you can see, this is only about halfway used, not quite halfway used, and this is the full year, so it's pretty thick, and the vast majority of it is actually the daily pages that I was not using, and it is a large, somewhat hefty book. The Avec version is half a year. They split the big book into 2 years. They have a January through June version and then a July through December version. And it's a little bit more expensive to purchase it this way, but it makes for a much lighter carry, and I have a feeling I will be able to maybe not be quite so overwhelmed with all of the daily pages. And to give you an idea of what that looks like, of this book, and this is in a cover, so hang on. Of this book, this is the yearly, monthly, and weekly pages. This is the daily pages. So you can see what a significant amount of the book the daily pages are. But I think I can make this work. So this is just going to be a quick tour of how I have set this event up. It begins next week in July. So, yeah, we'll just do a quick tour. I've got it in my A5 Midori clear cover. This was in another one of my videos. I had my full year in this. It's just an A5 Midori clear cover with some scrapbooking paper on the inside to make it pretty. And I can change this out with the seasons as I so desire. I have not yet decorated or done anything like that. I have decided to keep my son's attendance records. We do homeschool. So I've decided to keep his attendance records exclusively in this yearly. I had tried tracking various things in this, and ultimately it just wasn't really functioning in that way. So I've decided this is going to be our attendance record for the year. So I've got, in every month, I've already written out attended, holiday, vacation, sick day, field trip, co-op, and his gymnastics class. So I can keep record of everything we do that is school related for the year and have it all at a glance right here. And at the end of each month down in this section, I will log total days attended, if we had any sick days, you know, anything else that I need to log hours for will be down here. And then we have our monthly section. Excuse me while I get to a month that doesn't have anything on it. Now this is the second half of the year, so it goes July through December. And actually it goes beyond December. It goes through January. January is included in this. And then we skip to the weeklies, so the first week in July. Which will of course just be used as I have been. This part is not changing. What is changing, however, is how I'm going to use my daily pages. And all I have, these are just Post-it flags that are removable. And I just am using those so I can quickly flip through individual weeks and whatnot. Okay, sorry for the interruption. What I have done is, in between the last week of the weeklies and the first of the dailies, there is these 2 blank pages. There are these 2 blank pages, proper grammar. That says turning the page, and then it's just blank. So what I have done is I'm making this my index, and I'm totally stealing pretty much all of this from Amanda over at Mandolin Plans. This is very similar to what she does with hers. Personalized, of course, but the general concept is how she runs the daily pages in hers. And so I'm calling them my collections. And this is just going to be an index, and rather than writing page numbers, I'm just using the month and day to indicate page numbers, and I'm just not going to cover them up. And I've got some standalone things that I want to track, and then I have got some monthly, basically bullet journal style things that I'm going to do. And then entire sections for a couple of things that I'm going to need more space for. So I just, I traced this. I cannot brush letter. It's terrible. So this is just, I printed it out with a font that I liked and traced it with a brush pen, but I can't actually write brush lettering to save my life. So the first thing I've got is a cleaning schedule. This is a freebie that I got. I believe this is in the Boho Berry group on Facebook. She uploads freebies for us occasionally. And this is just a cleaning tracker that I printed on sticker paper and put in here. I really like how this is set up to kind of help me keep track of the things that maybe I don't do daily. I know there's a daily section, but more for checking the car stuff. I'm going to add like the oil and stuff like that in here as I do it, so I can see at a glance when I last did something. We are going to have some sinking funds set up. We do follow Dave Ramsey, Financial Peace University, for those of you that are familiar with him, and we have been really bad lately about not having our sinking funds set up, and a couple of things have blindsided us. So I'm going to start tracking our sinking funds in the back, and I will just transfer this information from book to book every 6 months as the need arises. So hopefully that'll help us keep better track. And then I've got a list for YouTube ideas. I'm going to film a plane with me every week and a monthly plane with me for the months. These are for ideas of sticker reviews and the extra stuff that maybe isn't a weekly thing, for me to just keep track of the ideas that I have. Oh, and I was going to say, yep, this is washi from Villa Beautiful, from one of the kits last year. I don't know which one. I honestly have no earthly clue where this washi is from. I think this was from Hobby Lobby, I think. That's all I've got. Both of these are from Night Owl Washi. I'm in a group on Facebook, and she also has a Shopify site. It's Night Owl Washi. I will link her below. She ran a pre-sale of a bunch of Harry Potter stuff, and this was from last year sometime as well. I love this. I wish it was skinnier. I might have to cut some down. But I love this. It's so pretty, the watercolor sort of effect. Then I'm going to have some other stuff that I'm going to track. My husband and I are planning on participating in another embryo adoption. Our youngest was adopted as an embryo, and we are wanting to adopt more. So I'm going to keep medical information related to that in those pages. And then this is going to be my July section of the Bujo, and I will go into that more a little bit later. And then after that is going to be August, and so forth and so on. I have, I think, 6 pages per month. And then I'm going to have a section in the back for lettering practice, because I am determined to learn how to brush letter. Church stuff, my husband and I do run a lot of stuff at our church, and he is going to be officially interning there now instead of just volunteering, so there's going to be some stuff I have to keep track of there, and some washi samples. A lot of the time washi, I think, looks really kind of meh on the roll, and I've realized it's because it's so transparent sometimes that it gets muddied up with the layer underneath it, and then when I roll it out, it's breathtakingly gorgeous. And vice versa, I'll think something is really pretty on the roll, and then when I go to lay it out, I realize that, oh, that's really not all that attractive. So I'm going to start keeping some washi samples in my book. And that is essentially it. I will probably have, actually I probably won't have a pen test page, just because I've already done a lot of our pen testing. And I'm also debating, I have our lesson plan book here, and I can keep it in here like this, but everything in me itches to have it all in one book. So I am playing around with the idea of pulling out what I've already printed and just pasting it in here. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I'm going to play with it and see. I don't know. We'll see. Because I really like the idea of having everything all in one book, that I can even slip out of this leather cover if I need to and just take this with me, rather than having to carry around this whole thing. Not that I mind. It's not that heavy, especially with only the half Avec version in here. But that is basically it. I've already done a review of the cover, so I won't reiterate that at all. This is a Speckled Fawns A5 Mustard Kodiak with a 1-inch reinforced spine and 4 elastics, and it does fit fairly well. As you can see, it does crunch the plastic cover down a bit. Not horribly. And I could absolutely keep it in here without the plastic cover. I do a string at the front and a string at the back. I don't, this is such a, even now, such a big book, I wouldn't want to have it just one string down the center. So that is that. So that is what has been decided. I might use my Jibun Techo for something else. I haven't decided yet. But that is the ultimate decision that I have made. The Hobonichi cousin retains my affections. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments or suggestions for me on other things I can do with the dailies, other than what I've already decided to work on here, I would love to hear your ideas. In the meantime, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, and if you want to see more content like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you want notifications when I post something new, hit the bell. Otherwise, don't worry about it. But until then, we'll see you guys next time, and thanks so much for watching.